Hello you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So in today's video, we are going to be doing my monthly prior weekly MLM Horror Stories series. Let me know how you guys are liking it so far. I think it's been 2 months since I stopped doing them every single Friday, and I now do them on the last Friday of the month. So let me know how you guys are enjoying that. If you guys would like me to do it 2 Fridays a month, I can definitely up it again. So let me know if you guys are enjoying the last Friday of every month, or if you'd like me to up it to 2 Fridays a month. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I've got my coffee today. I've also got my water. I've got it all because I get very parched. I also have work in an hour and a half and I have to get ready for work. So I have about only an hour to film, but we've got this. We're going to get it done. So the first MLM Horror Stories we are going to read says 2 Beachbody horror stories, which you guys know I love to see because I was in Beachbody, so I love seeing what people have to say about it. So let's see what this story says. Hi Deanna, I'm blank, but I prefer to remain anonymous. I have 2 Beachbody stories for you. Maybe you'll actually be able to interpret some of the nonsense that happened to me here. I think that both of the people involved actually have left Beachbody since, so it is not to shame them as individuals, but mostly talk about the weirdness of my experience. So for some background, I was always a very active person. I did competitive dance when I was young and kept being active even throughout undergrad until I had a major hip injury in 2013. It took 2 years of me being in extreme pain and going to several doctors to try to get treatment. But in April of 2015, I had a hip surgery that greatly improved the pain, but I was way less healthy and had gained a lot of weight during those 2 years of seeking treatment. I went into PT to start trying to get my strength back. I'm a lot better now, but still have some lasting pain issues that can make it hard to work out, even though getting enough exercise is something that I love. In 2016, I was done with physical therapy and wanted to start working out again since it was a major stress reliever for me. I also decided to start eating healthier, mostly through getting more vegetables in and eating leaner proteins. I very much did not want to do calorie restricting or use supplements. Meanwhile, there was a girl I was Facebook friends with who was always posting about Beachbody. I'd met her in person maybe 3 times or so. Apparently, she had a major injury several years prior and found that she was able to recover from that injury using PiYo. Still not sure what that is. Well, PiYo is a workout program that Beachbody has. I still believe they have that program. I think PiYo was done by Chalene Johnson, which is no longer with Beachbody. So yeah, PiYo is just a fitness program. She said, well, she reached out to me and told me that she was recruiting a new challenge group and asked if I was interested. She told me all about PiYo and how good it had been for her to get her strength back in a low/no impact way. It sounded great, and she said that she'd sign me up, and then she dropped the fact that I'd be required to have that Shakeology shake every day during the program. I said I was interested in the exercise program, but I really didn't want to drink the protein shakes since I was starting to eat healthier on my own, and I didn't want to throw something new into the mix. Her energy got very weird after that, and she said that the Shakeology shakes were a mandatory part of being part of her challenge group. It was so confusing to me. If this was an exercise program that would help with recovering from an injury, not some sort of bulk up program, why would I need a protein shake? After some back and forth, I told her it wasn't for me, and we haven't spoken since. Okay, I moved a little bit closer. I got a pillow for my back. Y'all know I got these back problems. Okay, so we'll talk about that for a second. And we actually talked about it in Monday's MLM Fails that I did, where I told you guys about the fact that even when you join Beachbody, a lot of the reps are trained to have individuals like their customers or clients or whatever. They're trained to have the customers buy Shakeology or buy the performance pack, which is the pre and post workout. It costs about $100 for customers, but uplines will do that so that they could earn that commissions monthly off of their, customers, since they're not making money through team cycle bonus like they would if you were to actually join their team. So you will see this a lot. There will be a lot of people who join Beachbody who don't want to buy the products, and they will kind of be forced to kind of buy the products. And a lot of people will join and then they won't be told that they need to buy products. And then once they're in, they will be kind of like casted out unless they do buy products monthly. So that's definitely something that does happen. I also want to mention that you could actually use protein without wanting to like bulk up. Protein is just a generic thing that people use. I know I use like protein shakes when I'm working out because I just am not good at getting protein in throughout my day. A lot of times I'll have something like a salad for lunch and I won't really eat meat in my salad or anything like that. So I'm not very good at getting protein in my lunches and stuff. So for me, that would be helpful. So protein can actually help like muscle recovery and really help you get your protein intake in for the day for people who lack that. So it's not just for bulking up. I know a lot of people who do bulk up or want to gain healthy weight will do a lot of protein, but it's not just used to bulk up. She then said, a few years later, my now ex-cousin joined Beachbody and was putting together another accountability group. She knew that I was still into fitness and asked me to join her. By this time, I was actually at a point in my health regimen where I found the additional fuel from a protein shake to be pretty useful, so I wasn't immediately turned off. Plus, she said that she would post meal plans every week that would make meal prep easy. I agreed, and then she asked me if I wanted to sign up as a regular customer or as a coach, which would give me some sort of discount. I said I didn't really want to coach other people, and she told me that being a coach wasn't actually about coaching a team. It was just their word for their discount program. I naively signed up for the coach program and started getting those shake powders on auto ship. I hated the shakes and could barely drink them, but I did manage to get through one every day and put it in the share tracker. The meal plans that were posted seemed to just be copied from the Beachbody nutrition plans and pasted into some poorly formatted text in a Facebook group. I found them really hard to follow as well. But the big thing that ended up making me quit was when Passover came around. I am Jewish and really take the holidays seriously. Passover has quite a few dietary restrictions that are complicated, but one thing that's important is that I don't eat any processed food that isn't certified to be kosher for Passover. I mentioned that to her for 1 week only. I wouldn't be able to follow the meal plan or drink the shakes because of Passover, and she got really irritated with me for calling the protein shakes processed. I'm sorry, but where in nature can you find protein powder? Processed isn't necessarily bad, but any food that is altered from its natural state is processed. It's a descriptor, not a judgment. Then she started sending me recipe ideas for Easter and Passover that included things like pork loin, very much not kosher. Also, why bring Easter into it? It's not my holiday. Anyways, after that, I basically disengaged, but I am still getting those shakes and working out when I could. A month later, I got an email that was like, hey, I'm your coach's coach. She's going through some stuff and I had to step down, so I'm your coach now. Something like that. I can't remember all of the details, but is that a normal thing in Beachbody? I decided to quit then because I wasn't having fun with it, and it wasn't like my new coach was a family member like my original coach was. I love your channel and take care. So I'm sorry that you went through that. Yeah, it's ridiculous that she would get mad at you for calling Shakeology processed, but you know them. They think that all of like their products are natural because that's what they're taught. Like Beachbody tries to always use those terms like our products are natural and everyone needs it in their diet because you're not getting those foods otherwise. But with that is kind of ridiculous that she did that. It's also weird because when you sign up with Beachbody, they don't really mention that you're forced to buy stuff monthly. So it's kind of wild that her old, coach for Beachbody had her do that or wanted her to do that. And then this one also did. So it really shows how many Beachbody uplines will do that and will want you to buy products monthly. And then with the whole question that she asked about Beachbody and the like coach's coach thing. So yeah, that actually is what happened. So for example, if I were to quit Beachbody today and say I had like 5 people in my downline, those 5 people would then get assigned to my upline. So my upline would end up receiving all of those people and it would be in her downline now. So that's kind of how it works, because if you were to look at a pyramid, say someone leaves, that downline has to go to someone. So it just follows up in the pyramid. The next person in line, which would be, your upline's upline, would get all of those people. So yeah, that actually is what happens. So the upline will get the clients and they will also get the reps that were in the MLM. So thank you so much for sharing your story with me. So I think the next one is another Beachbody one, but let's see what it says. This one says, hi Deanna, I've been meaning to send you this horror story for a while, so no better time than the new year. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind on emails. This was January 28th. A few years ago when the Beachbody program Morning Meltdown 100 was being launched, I was very interested. At this time, I really had no idea what an MLM was. Otherwise, I would not have been interested at all. Anyways, there was this Beachbody coach that messaged me often asking me if I was interested in joining her team, and I always said no. While I wasn't interested in joining her team, I was interested in joining her boot camp. So I messaged her and told her I was finally ready to start. She was obviously very excited to get a new challenger. Where this turns into a horror story is she told me that as a gift to her new challengers, she was gifting me 1 week of Blue Apron meals. I think that's what the meal delivery company was called. She asked me to pick the meals and she would have them sent to me. So I picked my meals and they arrived a couple days later. Then what happened next is my account got charged for weeks worth of meals. So I messaged her and asked her what was going on. And she told me that I must not have read the fine print. If I didn't want the meal delivery service to continue, I needed to cancel it myself. Excuse me, that was not at all how she presented this gift to me. She totally made it sound like it was a gift for signing up. So she was sending us a couple weeks worth of complimentary meals, when in reality, she was using our method of payment provided to her for the challenge pack to sign us up for the meal delivery service that automatically comes with 1 week of free meals. She was acting like that free week was a gift from her. I was furious because I just spent the money on the challenge pack and did my grocery shopping, so I didn't need or want any more Blue Apron meal kit. I canceled the Blue Apron, and you better believe I canceled the Beachbody challenge pack. Shortly after, I found the antimlm community and I lived happily ever after. I have never seen someone do that. Like, is that even legal to do that? Because Blue Apron isn't associated with Beachbody. Blue Apron is kind of like Home Chef or those kind of companies, or HelloFresh. I use Home Chef pretty much weekly, and you have to sign up for that separately. It doesn't go through Beachbody. So it makes me curious, is that even legal? So if anyone is like a lawyer or anything like that, or you went to law school or something, let me know if that is a thing that you can take someone's information off of one site and then kind of like put it on another and sign them up for a delivery service and then tell them that they should have read the fine print. I would be so mad about that. Like, that is not cool at all. Okay, I don't know where I ended because the hubs came in because he put my food in the oven and gave me my allergy pill because a girl is struggling. Is anyone else struggling right now? I know I am, because whatever is going on with this weather is making my allergies just go crazy, and I'm not enjoying it, okay? Allergies are the worst. I just hate when like my nose is all messed up and my throat, and I hate it. So let me know if you're going through that right now with the weather change. But like I was saying, with the Blue Apron, that is wild. I have never heard of anyone doing that, like taking someone's information and then using it to sign them up for that. And like she said, if someone said it was a gift, if someone said, hey Deanna, I'm gifting you something, and then they yell at me that I should have read the fine print, what do you mean read the fine print? You gifted that to me. So I don't know. That's just it's so weird to me. So the next one is an Arbonne horror story, which I will say I haven't been hearing about Arbonne a lot recently. I would say within the past 6 or 7 months, I haven't heard much about Arbonne. Have you guys? I feel like Arbonne is one of the MLMs that you just aren't hearing about as often on social media. Let me know if I'm the only one. Maybe it's just me that's realized that. Well, this Arbonne story starts with, hi there, I had an acquaintance from college target me for Arbonne in 2016. It started with her emailing me that she had started her own business selling Arbonne products that she thought I might like. I saw that they were fairly expensive and was a new mom at the time, so I told her I couldn't afford it. She hyped up the quality and then told me I could join and be a consultant like her. That means being a mom meant I'd be great at selling the products. I told her that my friends couldn't afford the products either, and I didn't really want to be a consultant. She sent me a webinar link and asked that I watch it just to see what they were about. The webinar wasn't very clear. It was mainly pushing the message of work from home, make your own hours. This could bring you more money than your current job, and you can spend more time with your kids. I kept saying no. I looked at the starter kit for the consultants and the price was obscene. I've tried some of her products and they irritated my skin horribly. It was just a big no all around. Later that year, my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It was terminal. She was declining fast. It was horrific to watch. This acquaintance reached out to me and offered to take me out for a night so I could get my mind off of things. She said it was a girls' night. I asked if it was for Arbonne and she swore that it wasn't. I saw her post an event on her Facebook for a pink Cadillac Arbonne event for that night. I asked if we were going to it, and she backtracked and swore they would only discuss Arbonne briefly and that it was all a party. I was so disgusted that she came to me under the guise of trying to be a good friend to me during my time of grief and used it for a pitch. I tore her a new one and we haven't spoken since. Last I heard, she was now a self-proclaimed wellness and nutrition coach / life coach. I guess Arbonne didn't really pan out. I just want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. And unfortunately, we see this a lot. We see MLM reps will kind of use these times in individuals' lives to recruit them and bring them to events like this under the guise of like, oh, it's just a quick little party or whatever. And it's shitty because you think that someone is your friend and they're trying to like be there for you during a time where you kind of need a friend. And then they end up just trying to recruit you. So I'm happy that you spoke your mind and, said what you were feeling in that time, because I couldn't imagine that was kind of easy to see happen. Okay, so the next story says, my MLM horror story. She says, hey, Deanna, I do apologize in advance for any mistakes, but keep in mind that English is not my first language, so this is not a horror story, thanks to my mom. Here it goes. At the time, I was 19 to 20 years old, fresh out of a private vocal institute and in search for a job. While I was looking online in a very big and reputable site with job ads, I stumbled upon an ad that I remembered stated that it was sales and no previous work experience was needed. I immediately sent my CV and kept looking. Sure enough, they called me back for an interview. The day of the interview, my mom told me to not give them any money if they asked for it. With that being said, I left for the interview. Reaching the building, the first thing I noticed was there was no indication of the company, not a sign that states the company, nothing at all. Reaching the company's floor, I found out that the company was none other than Herbalife. Inside, they were making other people wait. At some point, I heard clapping. This is weird, I thought. When the previous group left, we were ushered inside and made us all sit down. Next to me was sitting a girl who didn't like this at all. And to be honest, I felt very uncomfortable during my stay in that place, which looked more like a flat turned into an office. There we were given a presentation about Herbalife and that Cristiano Ronaldo uses their products, and then reps got on stage and started to tell their story about how they got into Herbalife and how much money they were all making. And in the end of the presentation, we had to clap. I kid you not, they made us clap. The girl sitting next to me told me that this was BS and that she didn't believe any of it. When the presentation was over, we were led back to the waiting area to simply chat around. And then a lady approached me and told me that I had to give her 10 euros in order to secure my place in the Herbalife Academy. The Herbalife Academy was the place where we would be training and provide us with everything we would need to start. Well, the 10 euros they asked were the only money I had on me, just in case. I gave the money to the lady and quickly got out of there. When I went back home, my mom was furious that I gave money and that she told me any legitimate company would not ask for money. But since then, I couldn't get it back. The next thing I could do was just simply not go to that academy of theirs. So the next time they called, I told them that I had to return to my previous job, the one I was an intern at, and then they never called me again. Now, obviously, it was a lie. I didn't get back to my previous job, but it was just an excuse to cut ties with them. A big shout out to my mom, who was able to protect me from MLM BS and actually was very cautious for my next job interview that fortunately was my only MLM experience. Note, here in Greece, it is common for companies to post anonymous job ads, especially if they're doing it from hiring companies and they're not hiring directly themselves. This is why I clicked and sent my CV without much of a question. Anyways, thank you so much for reading my story. Shout out to your mom. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe your mom, I wonder, has she been in an MLM or has she seen MLMs before that maybe that's why she kind of knows that, hey, steer clear of these things, but hey, shout out to her for that one. She's a real one for that. So let's read the next MLM horror story. It says, or it's titled Surrounded by Huns Horror Stories. So this story says, hey Deanna, I got another horror story for you. Oh, I remember yours. She said no mimosas this time, but still salty about the situation. So if you haven't been keeping up with my MLM Horror Stories series, I think it was either the last one or the one before that, someone sent me their story and she was like, oh, I'm like 3 mimosas deep right now typing this story for you. And I was like, now I want one. Now I just want to drink a mimosa every single time I'm like sitting here chatting with y'all about MLM horror stories. So she said, so I left my skincare MLM several years ago and started my own business over a year later. Soap, bath bombs, etc. Being a small handmade item business, a lot of my customers come from local farmer and vendor markets. There tends to be a lot of MLMs set up at these, but luckily less and less, as a lot of markets are limiting how much they allow or banning them outright. Unfortunately, a small market I was at recently was like half MLMs. I didn't realize until after I was there and setting up that the lady that organized the event worked for paparazzi. But hey, you live and you learn. I was put in a back area and the only other vendors back there were MLMs, Color Street, Scentsy, and Perfectly Posh. Normally, I wouldn't complain, but Perfectly Posh sells the exact same stuff I do and we're right next to each other. Most of the time, market organizers make sure not to put two people selling the same thing right next to each other, so I don't know what the hell happened. The main horror part is how it's almost like these ladies decided to ruin my day that day. The building has shelves and counters we could use, so I put my soaps on one. The Color Street lady showed up and put her displays to where they block my stuff. I asked her to move them, please, and even spoke to the market organizers, but they decided she didn't have anywhere else to put her stuff because another vendor who never even showed up was supposed to set up right next to her. So my biggest sellers were practically hidden the whole weekend. The Perfectly Posh lady kept trying to flag people down before they could walk past her and get them to buy from her before coming to my booth. She bragged about how her products are all natural and help with all kinds of skin issues. I had a lady stop between us and ask if my products were all natural too or did anything. I looked them both in the eye and said, natural means different things to different people. So I won't ever claim that's what my products are. And I won't make any medical claims about my products because it's illegal and can only talk about my personal story and customer reviews. The look on this woman's face after I said that. I ended up being much busier than either of them. I try to make eye-catching products and have all different price points so people won't have to break the bank buying from me. This lady's soaps were like $4 to $10 more than mine, and just saying, my bath bombs looked way better. She actually bought several bath bombs from me before the natural product comment because she said so herself that MLM bath bombs made her kids break out in rashes. That plus the fact that Scentsy and Color Street lady kept making sure to send people her way for soaps, even though they both claimed not to know her. Just an all-around sour experience and probably won't do a market with that particular organizer again. Keep doing what you do. The fact that more and more markets are banning MLMs to the point that they have to make them organize their own shows that this movement is working. I'm so sorry that happened. I've heard a couple people talk about their experience with kind of like craft shows, because I'm assuming that's kind of like what this was, like a craft show. You called it like a vendor market. So it's pretty similar to like craft shows or things like that. And it's shitty because, like you said, small businesses like yourself go to these places so that they could sell their products and get more people to kind of like see them, because it can be hard to get your name out there when you're a small business or even if you're a new business. So then they have multiple marketing companies who are already making probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, not the MLM rep themselves, but the company itself, like Color Street, Scentsy, Perfectly Posh. That company is already making so much money. It's not a small business or anything like that. But then if people were to come up to that vendor from Perfectly Posh or Scentsy, they would tell them, yeah, I'm a small business and all my ingredients are natural, when they have no say in what goes in the ingredients. They have no say in looking at how the products are being produced. They have no saying in anything with the company, and they're not a small business to be going into these like vendor and marketplaces. So it is really crappy. I've heard a lot of people say that they in general don't do like the markets or craft shows anymore because they're just so sick of MLMs being there. And like you said, MLMs that are doing the exact same products that you are, because then people may go to that booth over yours, and it's pretty crappy when that isn't even a small business to begin with. So also, I almost forgot about it, but also like the fact that they were like blocking your booth and stuff and all of that, I would be over it. I would be annoyed too, because you probably worked really hard on all of that stuff to get it up and to get it presented properly for your small business, and then they let Color Street freaking stuff block your stuff. I would be annoyed. But I feel like that's going to be it for today's video. I am now going to go finish my coffee. I have about 40 minutes until I need to go to work because I work the evening shifts. Yeah, I don't get home until like 11:30 at night. It's wild, but I have definitely been trying to get used to this new routine and new schedule. I've kind of been updating everybody on Instagram. If you don't follow me over there, I would really recommend that you follow me on Instagram because I do like daily updates. If I'm not able to like post a video, I'll always post on Instagram telling you guys why. And then I'm able to give you guys like daily updates on just my life in general if you're at all interested. And I also post stuff about like MLMs sometimes. I do weekly Q&As. So I actually did that today. Normally I do them on like Saturday or Sunday, but I did a Q&A today. Today's Monday, the 21st, and I did like a Q&A today. So if you want to go follow me over there, I would really recommend it if you want to be updated on a daily. So that's going to be all for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I love reading your MLM horror stories, so thank you so much for sending them to me. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also make sure to follow me on my vlog channel and Instagram, and I'll see you guys hopefully in Monday's video. So definitely let me know if you are enjoying every single Friday. No. So let me know if you guys are enjoying once a month, which is every Friday. No. So let me know if you guys are enjoying every Friday. Want to bulk up just to get like protein. No. I also want to mention that her saying, no, when the presentation was over, we would that the lady was organized. That's okay. Rewind. These ladies, no, that's not the word.